Hey, Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond sisters. Welcome to the Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond show. And today I have a very special guest. Hello, Joy.
Hello.
I can't wait to start chatting with you. And for those of you who are new to the Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond community, or just as a loving reminder, my name is Dona Rutowicz, and I am an expert relationship transformational coach. And I use my skills as a clinical psychotherapist, although I no longer practice as a clinical psychotherapist. All of the skills that I've learned apply to the work we do here at Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond. And Joy is a current student going through the Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond program.
Yes.
And Joy, why don't you go ahead? I'm going to give you the mic. You could introduce yourself and just
Sure.
say who you are, what you do, and why you're here, and then we'll take it from there.
Right. Well, I have been in the program since April 14th.
Isn't it crazy already?
I can't believe it. It actually has gone very quickly.
I know.
And, I wasn't sure if this was what I needed, but I have been divorced 3.5 years now. But, it's a struggle. You're a single mom. I have 3 kids at home, and you do therapy, and I've been doing therapy, to recover and to learn how to live. But there was just this piece that was missing, and getting in with Divorcing Gracefully kind of has been that missing piece that I didn't even realize I was missing.
Right? Isn't that I'm so glad you said that, Joy, because
Yeah,
I think you said it perfectly, which is there's a piece we don't even know is missing.
right.
We don't know what we don't know until we know, and we're like, "Oh my God, this is the piece."
Absolutely. I mean,
I had no idea.
there was just this piece that was missing, and
Yep.
I kept going to therapy thinking, okay, it's going to get better. And it just never seemed to get better. I felt like I had tools, but they weren't enough. And this program, of course, at the beginning, you're kind of like, what am I getting into? Is this really
I
what I should
know.
be doing? You're totally confused about what you're doing, but you're like, okay, I'm going to take a chance here and try it
Yep.
out. And, it has been amazing. At the beginning, you're kind of like, okay, I've heard this before. And then like all of these pieces start coming to you that are all consolidated together that have just, literally changed my thinking,
Mhm.
changed the way I look at things, changed so much and grown me in such a short period of time. It has been really amazing. It's always a journey. Each day is a journey, and
Yep.
each day is retraining my brain to
Yep.
think in different ways. But
Yep.
I tell you, it has been life altering, really, in my perspective, and to dream again and to just
Yeah.
feel empowered, and that I am able to do anything, and
Anything, right? Because
anything. Like
that
there's no
truly
limits.
there is no limits, and we go from being the prisoner to our life because
Yes.
you're very much like me, Joy, right? We do what we got to do.
Yeah.
We do for our kids, we go to work, we do, and we have the creative side too, right? That I think going through a divorce, even post divorce, right, is it it almost puts the light out of that, right? Like
I lost it.
it's not there.
I
Yeah.
was, and if
Yeah.
people had, the people that know me now, if they had known me when I was young, I was the
Yeah.
free spirit. I was, fun. I had
Yeah.
dreams, big dreams, lots of them. And I was always dreaming. And when I divorced, I had no dreams. I had lost everything.
Yep.
No dreams, no, just get through. I just have to
That's
take
it.
care of my
So let me
family.
just get
Just get
let me
through.
on the outside, let me put
Yeah.
my shit together so I look
Yeah.
okay. Like I could go to
Right.
work, I could go to the bus stop, I could do this, go here, go
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
right? I could do all that. But on the inside, it's not there, right? And there's
No.
this yearning and there's this reckoning within your soul that something's not right. But
Yes.
we just and we do the things that the world tells us to do, right? Which I love what you did, which was
Right.
appropriate at the time. Going to therapy, reading books, going to podcasts. They're all appropriate at a certain time. But then there comes a point where we
Yeah.
don't need to revisit the past anymore. We need
Right.
to draw the line in the sand and we need to claim our future. And we really
Right.
need to begin to understand what has prevented us from having that future in this moment, because if we're not experiencing the life we want to live, which you and I know this, Joy, now
Yes.
is it's a refinement of our thoughts, right?
Yes.
It really is as simple as that. This is not rocket science, right? It
No.
really is. It's refinement of thoughts. But if if you're stuck, and like what I like to say, our brain makes a really wonderful servant, it makes a shitty leader, right?
Yes.
Right. And if your brain is leading you, right, and you're being led by emotion and you're being led by the outside circumstance, we're just chasing our tail.
Right. Well, it didn't seem to be getting better.
Hmm.
That was exactly it. It's like chasing your tail because it was
Yep.
like everything was the same and I mean, I wasn't in
Yep.
the confines of feeling trapped anymore in my
Yep.
circumstances, but at the same time, I was trapped in new circumstances.
Oh my God, that's a mic drop moment, right? I'm not trapped
Yes.
in the old circumstances, but at the same time, I just exchanged old circumstances for new
Yes.
circumstances.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
same way of thinking.
Yep.
And so, learning how to dream again and
Yep.
learning how to I mean, I always was one of those people that I can do anything, I can do anything, but yet I really didn't believe it anymore.
Yes. And
And so it was
you
all
are,
gone.
oh, Joy, like
Yeah,
this is, and Rita posted to us that she needs our help because she's so stuck on this
yeah,
post-divorce and the loss of some grown children and her kids going through that. And Rita, we get you. Joy and I get that,
absolutely.
right? Like we get that. We understand that. And it's the moment, going back to what you said earlier, is that feeling that hope again,
It
feeling
is.
that
It's feeling
empowerment
hope.
again.
It's feeling excited about a future when you get out of a long I mean, I was married for 21 years.
It's a long
So,
time.
and my life was
Yep.
my marriage and my children, that was
Yep.
it. And getting out of that, it's like, first of all the dreams you had aren't there because they were squelched and lost during the whole circumstances. But then on the outside, when you're looking at it, now I'm like, well, what do I want? I don't even know. I don't know what I want. I don't have any dreams. I just know I need to take care of my kids and I need to keep going.
Yep.
And that was the
Yep.
life. And now, just after this short time, it's like, I have dreams. What are they? And it's discovering those dreams again. And it's
Yes.
awakening this part in me that has been asleep for such a long time. And it's very exciting to find her again,
Isn't it though? I
and to
love that
see her
feeling.
again. Yeah,
Yes.
it's very exciting. Now, of course, everything is different, so the dreams are new. They're new dreams. They're not the dreams of the past. They're new ones.
Yep.
So, and that's okay,
I
you
think they're
know?
better dreams, to be quite honest,
They're
because if you
completely
think about
different.
it, we're not the same women that we were
No,
before. So
no.
we, in the past, our dreams were limited
Yeah,
by standards, by old and past patterns, beliefs, and behaviors,
right.
right? They were limited by those standards that we believed to be the limit of what we was available. Now we understand there is no limit. So our dreams, we really get to just take the lid off of our dreams
That's
and
right.
truly put out there what it is we really want. And let's use as the operative word, right, Joy? We love our family, we love our
Absolutely.
children, we love our work, like in our everybody, all of that is there, but
Yeah,
we get to do what we want to do
right, which,
and create.
when
Yeah.
you haven't been able
Yes.
to for so long to do the things that you
Mhm.
want to do,
Mhm.
and all of that's been lost,
Mhm.
it's like, okay, so many years ago, this was lost, these things I wanted to do. But
Yep.
guess what? I have new ones now that I'm discovering, that things I want to do, or passions that I have that I
Yep.
forgot that I had, or have built new ones. And to look at that and to realize that I can acquire that
Yep.
is a possibility, instead of being so limited. Well, I don't know. Well, eventually, or
Right,
when,
maybe yes,
all
exactly.
these
Yep.
excuses that come in. And now it's like, okay, I don't have to have excuses. Yes, there's a plan and there's a path that I can take,
Yep.
but the
Yep.
time frame doesn't
Yep.
matter because it's going to all fall into place when it's time. And I'm going to trust that I'm going there because I know that's where I'm going.
Well,
And then the
Rita,
rest of the path will fall into place.
yeah, and Rita, her question,
Yeah.
what is step 1, which goes back to what you just said. Step
Yeah.
1 is deciding that you're worth it, deciding that this what I
Absolutely.
call this lukewarm state, this beige wallpaper life we had been living, right? Living in the survival state is not where we want to stay, right?
Right.
Because when we go back to what so many women will do is, not today, I'll do it tomorrow, right? Today I've got to take care of this, or I got to take care, I'll do this tomorrow, I'll do this tomorrow. But what we don't realize is tomorrow either A will never come,
Right.
right? Because we'll always put it off. You're always going to be busy. There's always something that's going to come in the way.
That's
And
right.
you may have heard me say this, like when you join Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond, one thing I will always say is your investment is twofold, right? It's a return on investment. One, your life is your biggest
Yes.
return on investment. But two, the money you invest will come back. It will come back in a shape, form, whatever, right? So it's our energy that's
Yeah.
changing it. But if you don't decide that you're worth it and you don't decide to take inspired action, what ends up happening is those years go by and you can't get that back. You could always make more money. You cannot make more time.
Right.
Right. And years go by, and I can't tell you how many times I'll speak with someone and I'll think, like, my gosh, their divorce happened yesterday, and their divorce happened 5, 10, 15 years ago. They're stuck on the loop.
Right.
Now, I love them. There's no judgment against them. But to me, that's a tragedy because you just lost 5 to 10 years of your prime years you're not getting back. Like,
Right.
I look at my divorce, and when I was married, I don't know if you feel the same way, Joy, but we gave our family and our ex-husbands a good part of our lives.
Yes.
Right? 21, 22 years. I am
Yes.
not willing to give anybody else or anybody, like, that time is mine now and I want it
Right.
back. And I don't want to be in my 70s, 80s not having made those moves. The time to live is
Exactly.
now, right? Now, like today.
Right.
And to be in that space of happiness.
That's right. That's absolutely right. And you deserve it.
Yes. Thank you. You do
deserve
deserve
it.
it. Yes.
You don't need to be the victim. You don't need to be
Yep.
the
Yep.
martyr. You deserve it. You deserve, to have a life.
Yep.
And
And
I
I
think
love when you said
sometimes
that. Yep.
we
You don't need
forget
to be a
that.
victim. You don't need me to be a martyr. It's just
No.
saying my life up until this point is not where I want it to be. Right.
Right.
I could take accountability for my actions. There's no blame, shame, or condemnations.
Right.
You don't have to throw yourself against the wall. We're not going to beat you with a wet noodle. Like
Right.
everybody, no one has this guy to have the perfect life.
Right.
We are all right now in this moment. Right. Right now in this moment, we're all experiencing this moment for the very first time.
Right.
No one has experienced it. Now, when we look back on our life, we're looking back with the wisdom we didn't have then.
Right.
We have now. Right?
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely. I mean,
yeah.
when you're in the middle of it, I think that's the biggest thing is when you're in the middle, you can't see it. It's like the frog in the pot, everything heats up around
Yes.
you and you don't even know
Yes.
it. And then all of a sudden you're like,
Yes.
where am I? How did I get here?
Yep.
And you have no idea you're there. But then once you're there, okay, so I'm here. This is where I am. This is my situation. I don't have to stay in this situation. I can get out and move forward.
Yes.
And I think for me, there were a lot of sacrifices that went into place when I divorced and things like that a lot. And it
Me
was
too.
very difficult. And it was definitely survival mode
100%.
is what I was living in.
100% survival.
I lived
100%.
in that for a number of years. I was back in school and I was working full time and in school and 3 kids. And, so survival mode is it. Just get through the day, just get to work, get money, anything to keep going. I'm not there anymore. I don't need to be in survival mode anymore. And it was very hard to get out of that.
Yeah, because
to
it's become
rethink it.
your habit. Again, not right or wrong,
Absolutely.
not bad or good. But if you go back to the frog in the pot, we now have we don't know we're boiling, right?
That's
Because
right.
this boiling water now seems normal, right?
Right.
And we can only stand the boiling water for a certain period of time, and then that's it, right? Like the frog will
Yeah.
eventually boil. We
Right.
will only be able to handle being in survival mode. We were not created as human beings to be in survival mode for 5, 10, 15 years at a time. Because
No.
remember, years before your divorce, you're in survival mode. During
Yep.
the divorce, you're in survival mode. Post-divorce, you're in survival mode. So if you really take account for
Yeah.
all those years, it's a long freaking time.
It is. And relearning to get out of that and to not thrive in the stress because that's all you know. Because you're like, I have to be stressed all the time because that's all I know.
Because it's
That's
normal
my
too.
comfortable place. This is my normal. And learning a new normal of no, you do not have to be in stress all the time.
Yes.
No, quit creating stress for yourself so
Yes.
you're in stress all the time. It's being very aware of your thinking and your behavior and your action or reaction.
Yes, that response versus reaction.
That's right.
Yep.
Instead of doing that, responding and slowing down. That's my hardest one is slowing down.
This is for you
It's
and for all of us. I'm going to tell you this flat out. It's still something I challenge with, right? The response versus reaction. But what
yeah,
I can tell you is that, one of the greatest gifts that we learn at Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond, yes, we do want to eventually open our lives and be, have the person that we're going to do life with and all of
sure.
that. But the learning of self-soothing, of not
Mhm.
reacting, of not being in that survival, right? And not
It's huge.
having to make a decision right then and there is tremendous.
It is. It's very
It's
it is
tremendous.
a complete new way of thinking, a new way
Yes.
of doing,
Yes.
and it's
And herein lies the transformation part, right? So going
yeah,
back to therapy, as a therapist, I love the therapeutic environment. But
sure.
then again, for this work, for healing our heart post divorce, for really
Yeah,
creating our life, attracting our soulmate, it's a different set of tools. Those
absolutely.
tools are
Completely different.
it's a completely set. And tell me if this isn't, if you see this, or how important this is to you, because one of the things that I learned, and I really was very conscious of creating joy, was Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond is meant to be a community of women who are committed to their life,
Mhm.
like committed to their future, that
Right.
we're going to take accountability and responsibility. We're not here to complain. Like,
That's right.
we can listen, you're entitled to it. You're entitled to feel the sadness.
Mhm.
You're entitled to feel, and there may be days where you want to complain, right? But we have the 48-hour pity party, right? We have a limit on the
That's
complaining.
right. That's
But
right.
I think what one of the most important parts is that Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond gives you a seat at your leadership table that you didn't even know you needed,
Right.
right? Like going back to that, like you're able to sit at the table and see
Mhm.
what's number one, what's possible, to see where you've been stuck and how to eradicate it.
Yeah.
But I think it gives us like this, we're tapped into now this quantum field. Like you see this all the time when we're on the group Q&A calls, and you'll
Right.
hear it, right? Is this quantum field of, we we do not have to be what the world tells us to be,
Right.
or go through it the way the world tells us we should go through it. We
Mhm.
get to say, wait a minute, I honor that in you, but because your belief in something doesn't mean that I need to follow that.
Right.
I'm going to find my own beliefs and my own future of what's really important to me.
Right, and I think that what happens so frequently, and I know with me it did too, is like you're in this little bubble, like you're stuck in this bubble of this is what it's supposed to look like and this is what it's supposed to be, and
Yeah.
okay, you can do this and you can do this and you can do this, and if you react this way or do this way, and your reaction should be like this, and your next action should be like this, and I'm like, wait a second, I don't feel comfortable with this.
Mhm.
And I don't know why. And
Mhm.
so this was like this, going to Divorcing Gracefully, you know, all these tools that came in to say, you know what, this is a really big, as you're saying, that quantum field
Yeah.
that's completely opened up, and you're like, oh my goodness, I just didn't realize I had access to
Yes.
all of this, even though, I am not someone that's like, I don't play the pity party. I don't do the victim role. I never
Yep.
have.
Yep.
But at the same time now, it's like I'm even more empowered to
Yes.
be
And
anything I want to be without having
yes.
someone else's rules. And when they tell me, "Well, you might wanna think about that because that's not safe." That's not the safe thing to do, in terms of a decision I might make or, a dream I might have even. And then I say to them, "Thank you for sharing that, but, this is something
This is for
I'm
me.
feeling called
Right.
to do at this point, and so but thanks for sharing your thoughts." And then that's it, and I can
No
let go of
people
it.
pleasing. It's gone. It's
No,
finished,
I don't have
right?
to please anybody else. No one.
No.
That's not my role.
And
I
for
don't
those
have
of
to
you
play
who
that
are
role.
listening, who are avid people pleasers, it's not right or wrong, it's not bad or good. It just comes time. How much does this behavior serve me, or does it hurt me? Because the truth
Yes,
is, what we know to be true is, when we abandon ourselves to help another, we're abandoning ourselves. It's a form of
that's right.
self-abandonment. And then what ends up happening is like attracts like. So we end up attracting people in our life who can't be true to us or abandon us. And then we're wondering, like, what's going on. And what you said, I just want to go back to something that I think is so
Yeah,
critical,
yeah,
is you had said, I'm not typically the person that's like a pity party person. I'm not typically the person that sits in the victim mentality, which you're not, right? So 5% of your brain, which is the conscious part, is not. You're very clear on that. And that's just your natural state of being, is I'm choosing not to be part of that. And that's just been kind of who you are.
Yeah.
What I think, and I think this is the transformational part, and this is where, again, if we think about the difference between therapy and coaching,
Yeah.
is your subconscious doesn't know that, though.
That's right. And you
Right?
stay there even though you don't
And you
even know
stay
it.
there. So even though
Mhm.
here you're like, I'm not going to be part of this pity party, but
Yeah.
subconsciously we are. Subconsciously, we have feelings of not enough.
Yes.
Subconsciously, we have feelings of the lack of self-worth. Subconsciously, we have feelings of, will this ever be possible for me? Meaning
Yes.
what's my true life, right? And all of those. And so
Absolutely.
that's what we need to address. Because if we only address the 5%, which is our brain, it's good, but it's not going to make the transformation. So what would
Right.
you say for yourself, Joy? If you could say, okay, this is the top 1, 2, or 3, like you get to decide, but what are the top things that really shifted for you that you could say, Donna, these are my absolute top takeaways that if today were to be the last day on earth for me, well, it's not, we're going to live to 120, right? But if today was, and this was what I was going to leave behind as wisdom to someone who's listening, what are those top 3 things, and what's the wisdom that you could share?
Yeah. So I think that the things I've learned so much, first of all, you have to take time for yourself, quiet and slow down.
Yes.
Slow down and listen and be able to listen. But what I'm listening for is in that state of, I am dreaming. I am looking to the future. I am not planning the future, but
Yeah,
I
but
am
you're like
looking
you're
to it, hopefully,
yep,
with ideas and dreams,
yep,
and being able to quiet myself and trusting that that's going to happen, that is going to happen,
yep,
and I know that's going to happen because I see that, and it's been put in my heart. That's the thing that was really big, is those desires that have been put in your heart, they've been put there for a reason.
mhm,
It's not just to live in, oh, this is so cool. No, they're there for a reason, and I have to trust
right.
that there's a reason that I have these feelings and these desires or dreams and hopes.
And the reason isn't there that you can't have it. It's
No,
not there to set you up to fail. It's there
right.
to set you up to succeed. If you have it in your heart
Yeah,
that you want a more fulfilled life, that you would like to have joy in spite of your circumstances, right? That you have a career or love that you want to bring into your life. It's there to provoke you, right? It's not there to stop you
and make you sad that you
and make
don't
you
have
sad.
it.
Right.
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 And that's the thing that had
Yep.
happened to me. It's like, well, I'm sad because I can't have this. Well, no, that's not why it's there. It's not there to make you
Yep.
sad, and
Yep.
understanding that. And so being able to just settle in that, and really taking time for myself. Self-care is a huge thing,
Yep.
because as victims and survivors, frequently,
Yep.
when you're in that mindset, you don't take care of
Yep.
yourself because you're busy taking care of
And
everybody
you're
else.
busy taking care of everybody else, everybody and everything
Yeah.
except yourself. Yep.
Accept yourself. And so for me, that is huge. But I think that connection of putting that together, putting all of that together, and I said this to you before, there's so much
Yeah.
information in Divorcing Gracefully. Oh, I've heard that before, or I've heard that before. But having it put together and compiled for you in one location, to be able to go, oh my gosh, I totally get this in a totally different way than I ever thought
Yep.
I would,
Yep.
because it makes more sense and it's bigger than I thought it was. And
Yep.
I think in therapy, which is great, and I'm not saying anything bad about therapy at all, because I've been in therapy forever.
Yeah.
So I think it's fantastic, but there was not the same as the coaching.
Yes, it's different. And that's where, if you think about our path, like let's say we're pastry chefs, right?
Yes.
You don't start off in the five-star pastry shop
Right.
in France. You start off in your home.
Right.
You start off with beginning tools. And I even love going to the stores now when you see those little cute little like rolling pins for the little girls and boys, right? Kids,
Right.
right?
Right.
That they get to
Right.
like practice. That's how so therapy and other tools, those are what we need to sometimes begin, right? It's
Right.
not just about one tool, it's a culmination of what we have, but then we get to a certain point where we
Mhm.
need a new tool.
Yes. And it's very specific. It gets
Yes.
very specific.
Yes.
And very specific things about your character or actions that you're doing, or reactions instead of responses, are addressed
Yes.
very
Yes.
specifically. And
Yep.
so then you're like, oh my gosh, and even recently, we were talking about something and you just pointed out to me right away. You're like, well, Joy, you're talking about abandonment and, not being heard. And I'm like, what? Not a clue. Never saw it. Never saw it. But yet you said just in our group session.
Mhm.
So it wasn't like this intense, therapy session. It was
Mhm.
our group session. And you saying that was like, what?
It was the invitation for you to see something and become aware of something that you didn't
Yeah.
even know, right? And
Didn't
that's the
even know.
seed, because in that moment, that's where transformation happens. Even though you may not see the direct result immediately, but that seed going in your mind now planted a new a path or pattern for you that you didn't even know was there. So we get to pull out the weed of
Right.
what we don't want
Right.
and plant the seed of what we do want.
Right.
Because again, we are the masters of cause. We're not the victim to effect.
And I think that has been something that has been so eye-opening to me is having that, even the one-on-one when we would have, with our
Yes.
coach,
Yes.
on the phone,
Yes.
and they'll pull out something that you're like,
I I know. It's that little, it's really, I could
you just
I I think,
you have no idea that it's even there.
and you know what? People will say to me, and this is a conversation I've been having for many years,
Mhm.
is people will say, like, they think it's like this big movement that they have this transformation, and I tell them, actually it's not. I said,
No.
your biggest transformation comes in the smallest box. Just like we say the biggest Christmas presents come in the
Yeah.
smallest boxes,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
it's the same thing. Those, and it's not just one thing, it's the realization of, and oh, I didn't see, and the realization when you see another sister who's going and experiencing these miracles and synchronicities, which
Yeah.
gives you permission to
Right.
experience the miracles and synchronicities. And instead of going, well, I can't believe I don't have what she has, it's going towards, well, if she can do it, so can I. This gives me the
Right.
permission now to say, wow, I didn't even know that was available to me. Because again, if you've never been to the restaurant of life, the life that you want, you could say, I want a good relationship. Oh, great. But what exactly does that relationship look like?
Right.
Right? Like, and then
And
you
how
could
do I
say,
have that?
and
How
how
do
do
I
I
do
have
that?
that? Right? How do I even cross the bridge? So
Right.
if you've never been to that, and you've never seen a menu, I don't know, like, I enjoy a glass of wine every once in a while, right? I tend to like a Pinot Noir, just very simple. I'm just the type of girl that just, I do have my wines that I prefer, but if I'm at a restaurant, a house wine is just fine, right? I'll have that. But sometimes I like to look at the wine menu,
Mhm.
and I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen those wine. I mean, they could go on for miles. I
Right.
don't know. I'm looking at this menu going, what is, I don't even know what to do. But a
Right.
lot of times if I'm with someone who understands it, they'll be like, oh, let's do this for this and this for this. And I'm like, oh, this is wonderful.
Right.
Right. And I'm learning along the
Right.
way of how to, and it's the same thing here in this life. If you don't have the menu of what's possible for you or what you want or what you need, how do you know what to order?
That's exactly right. And that's
You
why
don't.
when I started the program, I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't really
Yeah.
know what I'm getting into. What am I actually? I mean, it sounds great, but I don't, is this really going to work for me?
Yeah.
You're just like, but then
Yeah.
getting into it, once I got further into the
Yep.
program, the
Yep.
first 3-4 weeks or whatever, I started seeing things that I was like, oh, I can kind of see this now. And I really saw it, with just those coaching moments and it just kind of, and it's amazing. This is the thing that I think is kind of amazing to me. And we've talked about this before, is that your body will respond to
Oh,
things, you know.
yes.
And so we'll
Yeah.
talk about something, or one of the coaches will say, well, Joy,
Yep.
have you looked at this? And all of a sudden I'll start crying. I'm like, where did that come from? I don't feel upset, or anything. And they'll say, well, Joy, this is blah, 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 whatever it might be at that time. And then I just immediately start crying because my body's like, yes, it
It resonates
recognizes
with
it.
it. Yes.
Yeah.
And
And,
so
and it just
going,
is like, yes.
yep.
And
And that's,
cries to get it out. And then I'm
that's
like, I see it now. And now I can work on this. And
yes.
I'm be aware of it.
You're aware of it because the 5% of the brain says, no, I'm totally fine. I'm
Yeah.
good. I'm good there. I can't
Right.
tell you how many times I speak, even in my own journey in the past. No,
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
totally good there. I think I'm good, only to find out when I start going through the material, I
Yeah.
am so far off.
You're like, wow, that
So
wasn't what
not
I thought it
where
was.
I'm so not where I thought I was gonna be, and I
Right.
don't look at it as a bad thing, I look at it as a good thing because
Yes.
I was carrying around that thinking I'm good in
Right.
this area where I'm really not. right?
Yes.
It's the level of refinement, and it's that little voice inside of you. And that's what I want to congratulate to you, Joy, is that little voice that says, I'm not sure the direction I should go. Is this going to work for me? Is it not? But I'm going to go by what I feel. I'm going to take that inspired action and have the
Yes.
faith and believe in myself. And
Yes.
and just in our conversation when we spoke, this is the right place for me. I don't know
Right.
exactly why. I don't know what I'm just getting myself into.
Right.
And
Exactly.
I have all of these fears and will this work for me and all of that, but I'm
Mhm.
going to give it a whirl, right? I'm going to
Mhm.
believe in myself because I'm aligning. Again, we want to get out of survival mode and we want to go into the abundance mode.
Right.
Survival mode will have us looking at everything that could go wrong, right? Because
Yes.
this is what we'll say. Well, this could happen and this could happen and this could happen. Well, yeah, but then everything could go right. Just as everything could go wrong,
Right.
everything could go right.
Right.
And you could have the life that you want and the love that you desire, but you'll never know if you don't take the action in
Right.
yourself. Your investment in yourself, and I will say this again, hands down, till the day I leave this earth, you are your own best investment. Because
Yes.
no one is going to create your life for you. What
Right.
people do, unfortunately, again, it's not that it's bad, it's human nature and people want the best for you, but people are going to try to direct you and move you in the path what works for them,
Right.
not necessarily for you. And they're not waking up with a sinister plan and say, oh, where can I move
No.
joy today? But
It could be people that love you
they
dearly.
love you
Yes.
and they truly want the best. But you got to remember too, is they're giving you guidance and advice based upon outdated beliefs. Like right now, I don't even know what version of iPhone I have, right? Like
Right.
I mean, can you, like I'm not going back to the flip phone, right?
Right.
Like someone using the flip. So if you're taking outdated advice and guidance, it's going to prevent you. So
Right.
what are the things that you want to work towards? What's on your plate? What are things that you're looking forward to?
Oh,
What are things that
yeah.
you would like to manifest in this next year? What do you want to see
Right.
unfold?
Well, I want to say one thing real quick, just as an encouragement to other people. Because when I started this program, like I said, I was like willing to take a risk, sort of, but you
Yes. I love the
know,
sort of kinda.
sort of, kind of. And, I have to say though that I had some nasty thoughts in my head, and they came out sometimes in some emails that I would send that were just slightly edgy. And I'm like, so I want people to understand that I think that's pretty normal.
It
I
is.
think that is natural and normal,
Yep.
and not to feel guilty about it because it's part of it. And you just say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You
I
own
was,
it. And
had this moment of,
yeah.
what, this is stupid. What am I doing? Blah, 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 blah.
Yep. Yep. And
And
I
so,
want to say 100%. It's 100% human nature. It's
yeah,
100%. And instead of feeling guilt about it or man, I wouldn't have, it's like, wow, even right now I'm learning. I'm learning
yeah,
how to show up differently. I'm
yeah,
learning how to show up in the identity of the woman I'm becoming, not
right,
the woman I'm leaving, right?
right.
Not that identity. And it's amazing when you just show up and you own it. Because
Hmm.
that's what we teach you, right? We teach you.
Right.
It's just to say, like, at the end of the day, we make an accountability of our actions. Did I
Hmm.
show up in my value system? Did I show up in my best integrity? Did I show up in honesty? Did I show up in
Yeah,
loyalty? Did I show up in my best value? And
right.
if you say yes, great, go to bed, right? Because then you get to sleep a peaceful night. If you say no, you're like, okay, where do I may need to make amends? And
Yeah,
that's what you do. You have a
right,
conversation.
right. So I just want,
Yeah.
people, if they start to go, why are they thinking so negatively? It just is natural. It happens. And you
It
feel that way.
and let's go, it is natural, and let's go back to what we spoke about earlier. It's not only natural, it's physiological, because when you're in survival brain,
You're
this is
protecting
again,
yourself.
because so your brain doesn't know that it
Yeah.
has a home, it has food, that
Yes.
it's safe, right? When we're in survival mode, the reason why survival mode was there is so we didn't get eaten by dinosaurs. Pretty much that's how it's, right? Like, so you want to
Your
be able
fight or
to,
flight. Yeah.
right, you want to run. So basically your brain is saying to yourself, are we going to run? Are we going to fight? Or are we going to hide?
Right.
Right? What do I need to do? So your brain is scanning the environment for what could go wrong. It's scanning the environment for every little falsity that it could be. And it's also making stories, because
Yes.
what your brain is telling you is a story. It doesn't mean it's a fact.
Right.
Right? So it's creating all of these stories that may not even be real. And so you're creating all of these barriers,
Right.
right? But that's why your brain works that way, is because when it's in survival mode, right? If I tell you to think of a yellow Volkswagen and a pink truck, you can't think the same thought at both times, right? You can
Mhm.
only think of a yellow Volkswagen or a pink truck. You can't think about it at the same time. So when your brain is in survival, it cannot be in any other way other than survival.
Right.
And what that means is you're not going to be able to create. You're not going to be able to see a future. You're
Yeah.
not going to be in parasympathetic mode. What's going to happen is your body will break down, and studies have shown, and I've done the research on this. Women who are in 10 years or more of distress or fight or flight due to divorce, this is when illness begins and
Yes.
disease ends up happening in the body.
Yes.
So this is not just like feel good. I mean, it is literally, you could have coronary disease, heart
Right.
disease, the GERD, you get so all of that happens,
Right.
right? Because your
Right.
body, again, it can't, it's not meant to last. And so
Right.
people will say, well, I don't know why I can't move past it, right? It's not because you're not smart enough. It's not because you can't. It's
Right.
because you don't have the right tools, and
Right.
you're trying to paint the house while the porch is on fire.
Yeah.
Right? It's
Right.
not gonna happen. That's
Yeah.
not the time to
Right.
go to
Right.
Avos and look for your paint swatches,
Yeah.
right? It's
Right.
not the time to look. You have to first put the house out.
Yes. Yeah.
You're gonna stop the fire, right? And
Right.
that's what we do at Divorcing Gracefully is we get into the awareness of, wow, all of these reactive responses if I had aren't me and my abundance, it's me and
Right.
my victim, right?
Right.
And then we get the opportunity to say, here's your hat. What's your hurry? We'll see you later because we're choosing abundance. It's so
Right.
I've been in both, and abundance is a much better place to live for
Right.
sure.
Absolutely. You know,
100%.
and your question of what I'm
Yeah.
gonna do from here on out, at this point, I'm still in the program, obviously, so I'm
Yep.
still working, through
Yep.
the things I'm working on, and envisioning my future. I'm dreaming again. I am looking at that and going, that's possible. These are possible things, and being so positive on that side of this is possible. Learning, and I'm working every day on not reacting,
Yes.
but
Responding, not
taking
reacting.
that
Yep.
moment and then
Yep.
responding instead of reacting. Those are really big for me because, of course, I have kids, and that's a huge one with kids. And then you have people coming in telling you what to do. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
flip out on them? Well, you're trying not to. So it's
Well,
a
you
constant
can, but at
journey.
the end of the day, what does it serve you? When we look
Yeah,
at it,
it
okay,
didn't do
if
any
I
good.
if I react to the situation, where does it help me? It doesn't. It doesn't
Right.
help anything.
Yeah. So I'm really working on, you know, envisioning this next year. What does that look like? What is it that I want? And
Yeah.
the specific questions that are being asked, what does that look like? Where are you going to live? What are you going to do? Who are you going to be with? Those kind of questions.
Yes.
Just getting, it's not really a plan. It's more of a dream or what it is that I would like, what I want.
Yes. Yes.
You know,
Yep.
and so I like it because it's not a plan because I'm a plan person and let's plan it out. I don't have to plan out every step. It's learning to let go of it and go, I know that, there's a plan and I'm trusting that plan. I see it. I see what I want in the future and
Yep.
I'm trusting it to happen.
Yep. You just,
That's,
because again, you're commanding it to happen.
yeah,
It's not if it's going to happen. It's a matter
it
of
will.
when. It's a
Yeah.
matter of when. And you're stepping out being the commander of the universe per se, and you're being the creator. You're saying, here's what I want, but I'm going
Right.
to allow the how it's going to come to me to show up.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And Belle had said, she cracks me up, humans never existed during the time of dinosaurs. Yes. So this is when you're in fight or flight, when you're being chased by a predator, whenever that may be. And the predator, and I put that up there because the predator in the past was an animal. The predator now is our mind.
Yeah. Right.
Really. That's the
It,
predator.
it absolutely is. It absolutely is. And it gets in the way and it's learning to take control and
Yes.
retrain your mind.
So what would you
Retrain
say
your
to the woman who's listening, who's
yeah.
here, let's give the avatar, right? Because this is like us, right? So you're a professional, successful woman that you're post divorce. You've got good family, you've got good friends, you've been to therapy, you've done the podcast, right? You've
Right.
done that, and all of that is good. We're not
Mhm.
saying it's bad, but
Right.
your life isn't unfolding the way it is. Good family, good work, good friends, but this personal side still hasn't been moving the needle. Right. And
Right.
you've got this reckoning like yourself that you have a vision in your heart and you could see yourself living that life. You could see yourself and you want to invoke that happiness and that spark and the passion for life again.
Yes.
What advice could you give her? Or what guidance?
Yeah. Right. For sure. Well, I have to tell you that, I'm going to give the Divorcing Gracefully a plug. I mean, because of the fact that this program is the first time I've had all that information in one location that I was actually able to use and to take and absorb and
Yeah.
apply it to my life and be able to move beyond that spot of being stuck, I
Yes.
guess.
Yep.
Because you're like, I don't know where to go from here. It's really, I mean, because I remember sitting there searching, going, I don't really know how to do any more from here. What do I
Yep.
do from here?
Yep.
Nothing else. I'm not moving forward. My needle is stuck and I don't know why.
Yep.
And this was the program, the way it was set up, the way it is set up, the consolidation of the modules, and then having the coaching
Yep.
sessions and having that interaction and hearing, all of a sudden my needle has moved, and
The
it's not
quantum
moved
leap.
a little, it's
No,
moved
I'm talking.
a
Yes.
lot.
Joy, from the day we had our phone call to where you are now
Yeah.
is like exactly like you said. That needle just didn't just move. It
Yes.
completely. We're gonna need a
Yes.
new needle because you're getting up to an RPM it won't be able to handle.
I'm like, come
We're
on,
gonna
keep
have to
up.
we're gonna have to get a brand new needle. And I'm glad that you said that because I've been a therapist and a coach. I was coaching way before the coaching was even a thing. I've always been doing it. And so over the course of my 20 years of even my own experience and just my own experience with divorce and doing this work, there's three prongs that have to happen. And that's why they're all three, right?
Yeah.
You need the group Q&A because you need the community. You need the other
Yes.
women who are going through the same things that you have an intelligent,
Yep.
conscious conversation with, right?
Yep.
And you also learn from them. But number
Absolutely.
two, you also
Absolutely.
need the individual coaching,
Yep.
right? Very important.
That has been really,
There.
that is very, very important.
And
That
yeah,
has been really, for me, a game changer.
yep,
It has been a game changer because
yep.
all of a sudden being able to pluck out those weeds, like you're saying,
Yes,
that
just
I
pluck
couldn't
them out.
see. I could not see them. And I'm just talking, and saying, okay, this is kind of my thoughts that are happening. And they're like, look. And I'm like,
And
how
isn't
did
it
you see
refreshing? Isn't it
that?
refreshing, Joy, not to have the story around whose fault it was? Why is this happening to me? This is not what I want.
Yeah.
I wish it were different. It's
Yep.
just like, oh, there's a weed. Great. I'm going to pluck it. And
Yes.
here's the plant. This is the seed that I want. This is the plant. I'm going to put the plant in its place.
Yeah.
It it's such a freeing experience because we're not in battle with our reality. We're not in battle blaming the world or ourselves or another person or upset with where we are. We are where we are and that's it. And now we're going to change it so we could build the garden for tomorrow. Because we can
Yeah.
fight the garden all day long, but that garden's not changing until you decided to.
Exactly. Well, and the thing is, you don't realize how much that weed is affecting the growth.
Yes.
One little thing, how much it's affecting the growth of that plant.
Have you ever done any, well, it's not something that we would normally do
Yeah.
research on, but
Yeah.
there's trees, weeping willow trees. Do you
Yeah.
have them where you are, right? The weeping willows?
Yes.
Okay, so weeping willow trees are known to be invaders, meaning their roots will go anywhere that there's water and
Right.
they will steal the water from
Yes.
and including cesspools, right? Including homes and houses,
Yes.
and they'll
Yes.
go into
Yes.
your pipes and they'll steal.
Right.
So I know by us in New York, I want to say I don't know if they're banned, but I think there's very special restrictions you have to put when you plant one, like to
Yes.
protect the roots.
Sure.
It's like that, right?
Yes.
It's the same thing in what we do here.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you just have no idea until you pluck it out, and then you're like, you just feel so much lighter, and you're like,
Yep.
I just being aware of it. I think
Yes.
it's like bringing the darkness to light, and the
Yeah.
darkness cannot hide in the light.
Darkness
You know,
it cannot survive in the light. And
it cannot.
we don't have to battle the darkness or battle the light. We get to choose, do we want to spend our time in the light or the darkness? And let's bring the darkness up, right?
Right.
Let's bring that to light because once we bring it, and I think and I want to just
Yeah,
thank you,
please.
Joy, for acknowledging the consolidation of materials because I do see myself as a teacher, right?
Yes.
Even though I'm a coach and a therapist
Yes.
and all of that. But when you have billions of bytes of information that we
Yes.
choose from to consolidate the information to make sure that it's being presented in a way that's palatable, that will open up the mind to the
Yes.
body and the spirit. And that's where what I like to say the God sense comes in, because I
Yes.
would love to take credit for putting these modules together, right? But you'll often hear me say that it was God and I say God, universe, source, whatever you want to say, but it
Yes.
was that inspiration that came through me. But there is a piece of that you don't need. And as women, we tend to take a lot of material that we don't need.
Right.
You need the right material. and
That's
only
right.
this much of it, right? Out of the
Right.
billions of bytes in the world. And so at Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond, that's why we get results in the short time that we do, right?
Right.
Because we don't need everything. We just need the right things.
And that's what's so beautiful about it, is because all the right things are available right there, and then it's pieced out. It's not
Yes.
given all at once. So you're
Yeah.
like overwhelmed because,
Yep.
I'm the kid that sits there and will do hours and hours and hours until I complete it because I am a task
Well,
oriented. I have
of
to finish
course.
it. I have to
And
finish it.
that's like the good student and the good
I'm a
person
good
in us,
student. I'm
right? Yep.
driven,
Yep.
ooh.
Yep.
And it's like, nope, you need to take this bite this week, and
Yep.
that's all you get.
Yep.
And then we'll add to this bite, and I'm like,
Right.
oh, but it's right. It frustrates me,
Yes.
but I know that it's the right thing
And
because
it's
it gives you
also
time to slow down, which is
that's
my
it.
biggie.
That's
Mhm.
exactly it. Is that we're taking it's nothing that we do here at Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond is for
Mhm.
naught. There's a
Yeah,
reason why, but it's
yeah,
creating this new pattern in yourself of that I'm under the law of grace.
yep,
I'm not under the law of the world. And
right,
my time is precious.
right.
Right. So with that said, what was did we could go off for hours, right?
Yeah,
But what was that piece of advice that you wanted to give, or the wisdom? Because I know we're at time, so I
yeah,
want to make
no.
sure we're respectful. What was that piece of wisdom that you would say to her?
If she is in like the kind of place that I
If
was,
you exactly the place what you
yeah.
were. Yeah.
You know what? If your gut is telling you to try it, do it.
Yep. Just do it.
Just do it, even though you're like, well, and the money thing gets into play in your head. You're like, well, just do it. It's so
Yep.
worth investing in yourself, and let go of the rest. Let
It
go
all
of all of it,
yep.
because you will see the benefit
Yep. And it
while
all
you're
falls
in
together.
it. While you're in it, you will see the benefit. It's so worth it. It's so worth it for you, for your future,
Yep.
to be free of
Mhm.
what you've been stuck in.
And you could get living. The
You get to
next
live again.
5, 10, 15 years, you could get living.
Yeah.
With or without someone. It's really you're living your life
Right.
the
Right.
happiest you could
Right.
be, right? Yes, it's wonderful to have someone, and you will. It's not a matter that's not even a question. But
Right.
in the meantime, we're living and we're having
Yes.
fun and we're
Yes.
enjoying and we're present. Again, like that's the
Yes.
biggest gift, right? Is the presence that we get to be with our family, with our loved
Yes.
ones, at work, and the sky's the limit. And we get to dream. We get to dream
We get
again.
to dream again. That is like huge to me. I mean, I know
Mhm.
that sounds funny, but I have to tell you, I was the kid that was the dreamer. I always had all
Yep.
these big dreams and dream, 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 dream. And I wasn't able to accomplish any of them as a young person
Yep.
because of circumstances that I got myself into.
Yep.
But now I
Now
get to
those
do
dreams are
that
coming
again.
true. Hold on, girl,
I'm like,
right?
that's
Like,
it.
they're
It doesn't matter.
coming
This is what I'm doing.
true.
And
That's
and
it.
all of
Yep,
these things are happening again, and the creativity is coming back, which was totally like
yeah,
kind of gone because
yep,
there was no energy for it.
yep,
It was
yep,
gone.
yep, and
So it's a beautiful thing to be able to be a whole person again and to feel alive, really
yeah,
alive, and dream and have a future, more
and
of a
feel
future.
aligned too, right? Aligned with your heart, aligned with your
Yeah.
head, aligned with your soul, knowing there's what I'd like to say is the moment you decide for yourself, that's when everything changes. And literally from that day forward, I've had women that tell me the day they sign up for Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond, that night is the best night that they've ever gotten in sleep, because it's just like their body is in this place of right? I've had other women who said, I didn't sleep that night because I was nervous. I wasn't sure what was
Right.
going on. Right. But like yourself, give it a little time. The peace comes,
Yeah.
you get in the seat of your soul. But regardless, the day that you make the choice for yourself. Now, again, I will say this to Joy, and I say this to everybody here at Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond. We're not the general practitioner that we deal with everything. We don't
Mm.
want that. If you break your arm, you don't want to go to a doctor that does legs and
No.
arms and knees
No.
and hips you want to go to a doctor that specializes in arms so you can get that repaired and get your ass out and get moving again,
That's
right?
right. Right.
Same thing here. So we only specialize in this. And if you're
Yep.
like Joy, and if you're like myself, where you are a smart, intelligent, professional, successful woman, you've done the work, but you're still not where where your life is leading you, or where your heart is leading you. You don't want to live life alone, but yet your most important asset right now is yourself and getting that hope back, that joy back. Then book a call with me, because that's what we'll talk about. We'll see if you're a right fit for Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond. And if you
Right.
are, I'll invite you in. If I feel there's a different resource, I'm going to let you know that too, because
Right.
it doesn't serve me to invite you into a program for you to be unhappy.
Right.
Why?
Exactly.
I'd rather just part friends in the beginning, right? And if
Right.
you're not feeling like Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond is your place right now, totally cool. But take it from Joy and myself, invest in yourself somewhere. Find the coach that you match
Right.
with, find the community that you match with to do, because this is work you can't do alone. It just can't. I mean, I know we all want to do it alone, but you can't. And if we use the same outdated patterns and beliefs, we're going to get the same outdated outcomes.
That's right. Well, and I'm just going to say this also, and this is a Bible verse, and it was been my life verse when
Yeah.
all the things started happening in my life. And it was Jeremiah 29:11. I know
Oh,
the
I
plans
love
for you,
that.
says the Lord.
Yes.
Plans, not to harm, but to give you a hope and a future. And that was something I stood on through all the trauma that I went through
Yep.
with my divorce, prior to the divorce, after the divorce, still to this day. And now that's coming to fruition. It's like I have a future now that I can actually
Yep.
see and I can dream. And
Yep.
so I find it very refreshing and encouraging for myself and maybe for somebody else that there are plans for you for hope and a future. And to remember that, and to, if Divorcing Gracefully is where it is, that they try it out,
Yep.
because it gave me even more of a hope and a future,
Mm-hmm.
instead of
Mm-hmm.
just, okay, I think I know, I just don't really. No, I now have plans for a hope and a future. They were
Yes.
given to me in my heart, and I
Yes.
believe in them.
Yep.
You know?
And for everyone who's watching, to see
Yeah.
Joy, where you are is your decisiveness,
Mm-hmm.
right? There's no other option. There's no plan B. This is
Right.
it.
Right.
So awesome. All right, Chickalina. So sending you so much love. Had such a great time. I know we can move it through the background,
My little
and I
background
will.
into my hands.
I'm going to go ahead and put the link to book a call underneath this, and we'll see you guys on the other side. Have a great rest of the day. Bye.
Bye bye.